not a YouTuber, just like making videos, and lazy is what lazy does. Now I'm going to go into the concept of the black man being lazy. Shiftless and lazy. I'm going to talk about the comments by Eric Garner's wife, and also going to talk about some things David Carl said in his video, Eric Garner and the Image of the Lazy Black Man, that he published on December 11th. But I'm not going to make these two factions be the basis of my video, because it's somewhat of an interesting topic. Now, I wasn't offended, or I would say I don't think that Eric Garner's wife, a statement by Eric Garner's wife, is detrimental to the movement. But I figured, when she called her husband lazy, she wasn't calling black men lazy. She was just talking about her. She was just keeping it real. Maybe you would say that that's when keeping it real goes wrong, but oh well. But now, a lot of people are going to take what she says and run with it. These black men are lazy. They get what they get, and no wonder why they get gunned down by the police and so forth. Now, in David Carl's video, he did make a disclaimer saying that, he doesn't think that since Eric Garner was lazy and, he hustled loose cigarettes, that's justification for his cold-blooded, his murder. But he did say that there was a lot of truth in what Eric Garner's wife said. So, you know how, you already know how David Carl gets down. I stopped at around the 8-minute and 15-second mark of David Carl's video. I just couldn't stomach it anymore. You pretty much get the gist of what he's trying to explain. You get the gist of his narration. But the thing is, because David Carl said in a previous video that, the problems in the black community can be fixed. It's just that the black man is too lazy, to fix them, to be motivated and this and that, and I understand that, black men and women too, that are stigmatized with this sort of behavior, and not, just almost every negative connotations a human can have, being lazy, no goals in life, being stagnant, dormant, violent, dysfunctional, irresponsible. And I said it before, the actions of our delinquents and degenerates, of our, are what they'll consider the leeches to society, will far, outweigh the actions of, of the black productive members of society. That's just how it is. You take your black slewfoot standing in front of a corner store doing nothing. That garners a whole, no pun intended, but that garners a whole lot of attention. But you ignore all the black people going in the corner store, just getting a newspaper and their cup of joe, and going off to work wearing their work uniform and so forth. So, and maybe that'll be a topic for another video, the invisible black labor force. But ever since this comes, ever since we got off that slave boat, we were held captive by the Europeans, we were called shiftless and lazy. If the black man didn't work at the pace, and the cotton field work at the pace that was satisfactory to his master, even though he's a slave, they'll just call him lazy. If the master or the overseer catches a black man asleep in the cotton fields, even though his hands are filled with blisters, and he only got 4 hours of sleep prior, they will call him lazy. Matter of fact, let me divert your attention to this cartoon, this animated short here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and that cartoon I showed you, I think it was called "Scrub That Boogie Beat" or some shit like that. It just showed you the general perception of white people towards black people. You know what I mean? And what an insult! All the hard work black people put in this country. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be labor, inventing stuff, but white people are still going to look at us as lazy. I'm like, there's no convincing them. And these fucking bootlickers, these lap dogs like David Carl to the white man is going to come and, you know what I'm saying, and sniff behind them, you know what I'm saying, and kowtow behind them, and agree with everything that they said. As much as we look at these black men as having some sort of leadership skills, no. All they are yes men to the white man. And this shows you, you know, before, you know what I mean, the shoot 'em up bang bang, before crack cocaine, before these black ghettos, you know, got real bad, you know, overran with violence and so forth. White people consider us lazy because we were lazy because we were poor, you know, according to their criteria. Never mind that we've been disfranchised and we don't have the same opportunities bestowed on us like white people do. You know what I mean? We'll just say, oh wow, they're in avid poverty, they have to be lazy. You know what I mean? Even when humanity has created a barometer in measuring who is rich and who is poor, there has been 4 poor people in all 4 corners of the earth throughout human history. So can I go to some of these impoverished nations, these third world nations, you know, where they say, oh, send 5 cents and you can feed a kid for a week or some shit like that. Can I call them lazy? You know, because of their situation. A lot of times when we look at these poor countries, we tend to point the finger at their totalitarian governments. You know what I'm saying? And what sort of infrastructure it has and how the government has gotten the people boxed in and don't allow them freedom and so forth. But with black people, no, they're just shiftless and lazy, you know, and so forth. Now, I can get what they were saying, like, well, here in America, you have a whole lot of opportunity, you know, that other countries don't have. So how can other people come in and set up shop and the black man is still sagging his pants, walking around in circles? Well, you know, I'm not going to ignore the large abundance of black men, you know what I'm saying, being lackadaisical and dormant and stagnant and, you know what I'm saying, not wanting to do anything to elevate his position in life. But at the same time, you know what I mean, there's lazy people in all races. There's, you know, and so forth. Now, it's very easy to see the immigrant come over here and work his ass off and set up his shop and they compare it to black. Why can't black people do that? No, there's plenty of black businesses. It's just that we haven't visible black workforce. And still, wherever country that immigrant comes from, let's take India for example. India, most Indians I see, they're successful. Either they're cab drivers or they're computer engineers. A lot of them are doctors. They're go-getters. But if you go into the country of India, then you see a lot of Indian people living in just crippling poverty. Matter of fact, 90% of that country is people living in a deplorable state, but you don't see that. You would see the Indian over here, he's a doctor, he's taking advantage of the American dream, and then you point at the ignorant slewfoot, walking around like he has some sort of invisible ball and chain that he's carrying around. And you compare them. This guy took advantage of the American dream. Why haven't this guy has? But still, if you go into this dude's country, you see a lot of people just, But, a lot of black people is just it's a sort of an attitude or a mentality that they've adapted throughout the years. Now, I'm not going to make excuses or condone anybody's behavior. But, we have a sort of what they consider laziness in our races. But it's not about working hard. It's about working smart. Working it hard doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't guarantee an easy life. I'm like a lot of people that, have it good and so forth. Are people who inherit wealth, certain opportunities was available to them due to their condition in life, due to who their parents was, and just a lot of wealthy people, they don't work. They don't have to. They make their money work for them. They go on vacations for 3 months out of a year. Lounging at the beach. And that's how it is. A Native American said to me, I kid you not, said that how can the white man call anybody lazy? That, he had to use slaves, to help build his country. Slaves from Africa. Or if you say, or some black people may say that black people was already here. Okay, whatever fits your fancy. Or, they used to bring Chinamen, over here to work. So, and, they used to take advantage of poor people. And so, that's why you have the Democratic Party was created, and but when white people get on welfare and they represent 69% of people getting government subsidies, people look the other way. But when black people get on welfare, it's because we're lazy. But bear in mind, before FDR initiated the whole welfare program, whatever, to help America through the Great Depression, they were still calling us lazy. Even if we didn't grab checks from the government and so forth. And as I said before, when you look at all the destruction and the disarray in these third world countries, in places like Mexico and Brazil, and even in places like Southeast Asia or Africa, can we just call them lazy? It's solely the part of the poor people, of the people furthest on the economic chain. But here in America, which and it's psychological warfare. This is part of my psychological warfare series, is where you blame the most defranchised, the most ostracized, the most castrated people in this country. You blame them for all their economic woes. This does not make sense, and it does not match up with all the other events in human history. But listening to people like David Carr, I'm not going to use him as an example because he's predominant here on YouTube. But you got people in the mainstream, Larry Elder, Kevin Jackson, and these guys kowtow around white people. And some of them, I would say specifically the ones on YouTube, act more so like gloomy Gus.